Here is one that I prepared earlier to save time. We had a look at this web page. Now, if I had got Word 2010 or later installed on here, you would have a tool at the top here that said, I want to change it into a web document, into a Word document. And then you could edit it just as though you'd written it. And you can cut and paste between Word documents and so on. Can't do it on here because I have used IBM OpenOffice, which is free, but Word would give you that extra ability. So this HTML output is a general purpose way of getting colour out. Very useful. Right, suppose that I don't want to be fussed about doing all of this extraction, but I do like the data. All I do is to click to file and it is stored away. All of the data structures that were produced, that we've used to produce the HTML and the clipboard and everything else, have now been stored away. Go back here, click history. Those are all the stores that I did in the past. If I double click on the last one, it will start extracting the snippets without visiting the sites. All of the data structures, token streams and everything are stored away. So that's very, very fast, and we're back where we were. So you can build up an archive of searches. At the moment we can search the results on the queries. Later on we can actually do it on the content as well, on all of these snippets. It's a small extension, but there's so many other things that we could do. There are a few little nice features that are nice. If I click on that with a double, I can extend it to hunting and fishing. Wait for about 2 seconds and that's now been put into that list. I can do it with horses, girls and boys. There we go. That will go into the list and it's there. Close that down, go back into here, let's clear the query. Right button and there they are. So I can do a drill down, hunting and fishing there. I might want to add synonyms. Double click on fishing and fishing, sports fishing, that's a bit more going down through WordNet. It's getting more specific. Look at hunting, double click, no, we have to close it. Hunting, double click, hunting, hunt, outdoor sport. So I might single click that and add that to my query, and then I do the query again. So drilling down is very, very easy indeed. We've got facilities to store that list to a file or to the clipboard, which I won't bother showing. If we had multiple queries in here, we can go backwards and forwards through those queries. We can, suppose I'm looking at financial stuff and I want to look at coal stocks, slightly out of favour, and I would like to know what Seeking Alpha thinks about that. I can't see Seeking Alpha. There it is, Seeking Alpha. It's added it, so we will always go to that site, so we can see what we get there. We are treating financial sites rather differently because they usually have stock exchange symbols in them, and that's related to the name of the company. So you can extract company names very reliably, which is quite useful. So if we have a look at the sort of thing we're getting here, some are better than others. Okay, Walter Energy we've got down here with the stock exchange symbol WLT, and we've got all the financial words are highlighted: recoveries, result, rally, rise, and we've got the names of companies. We've looked at that already. James River Coal and well, we actually said James River is a place, which it is, and James River Coal is a company name, and that's its stock exchange symbol, and we've got the numbers as well. Obviously we could actually pair those up and put them in a database and so on, but I haven't done that yet. Might do in the future. You might be missing the query complete facilities that you've got in Google. I've clicked View Google and I will type into there Apache Indian children hunting deer, and we are snooping on Google and we will detect that, and we then make our internal query based upon it. I've got 1 or 2 little bugs in here. I've changed to a faster machine, and it's very much a timing issue. I want to quickly illustrate clustering, so rather than list we will cluster. We will say how many documents we want. 99 is good. Google doesn't like you having any more than that. And with a nice query, Obama and pipelines. He has changed his mind about pipelines over the years, and the clustering should show that very well. So we now make 10 separate queries to Google, and we will get back data that we will then cluster, and here we are, and we can expand these, and there you see, you can very quickly find about what the president said and what Excel said, so you're gathering a new vocabulary. That Excel is interesting. Let's suppose I click on that. These things open up now. It's the Keystone Excel pipeline, and I can actually do another query just based on these words. But I wouldn't want to cluster, I don't think. I think I'd want to do a list, and I get the numbers back down again. So I'll illustrate that hopefully. If I click Keystone, we will now drill down with the new vocabulary that we've collected. Yeah, so we can do lots of interesting things with that. Whether it's a list or it is a clustering, we can restrict the dates. So we have start dates and we have finish dates, and we can just look at the last month, the last week, the last 24 hours. We can, when we cluster, decide to visit the sites. If there isn't enough semantic information on the cluster from the actual Google snippet, then we can visit sites, and we could say I want to visit up to 20% of the site and look at 500 words. It takes a little bit longer, about another 10 or 20 seconds, but you get a better clustering result. We can choose here whether we want to go to the UK Google or the USA Google. We can set up batches, which I haven't mentioned before, and I'm not going to go through this, but you've seen how we can store away the results of a query. Well, we can have 50 queries running all night, or 500 queries running all night, and it all been stored away, and then you can look at it retrospectively later on, and the batch facility will do that. I haven't tested this recently. I mean, it could have developed a few bugs in it, so it's an ongoing thing that I'm not going to talk about it too much. There are controls down here for lengthening the snippets, and also for saying, well, I don't really care too much about the content, I care about the query alone. What we're doing is to balance semantic content against query. So if there's lots of talking around the query, that's semantic content, and you would prefer that snippet. And you might say, well, I just want a pure statistical match on the query. I've run WebThink on 2 machines without any problem, but sometimes Google doesn't like things, and we have a train web facility in here, which I don't think I'll go through. You can work it out yourself. It's very easy to do, and then Google sees the identification for your computer. But I've not had any problems recently. If we had several queries in the session, we can go backwards and forwards through them. I think I didn't mention that before. If we go to web, you're up onto the web where the list of videos are, which I'm making up at the moment, obviously. Licensing, you're not going to do at the moment, but that's what it looks like when it comes up. That, I think, now is the end of this video, and then we'll have another one for linguists.